Love that that's the first thing I see. Also, Bob, bigger screen. How we all living tonight? Do I have audio? Good. I'm alive. Ready for round two?
Sure.
Uh-oh. Y'all gonna make me do all the talking tonight. Somebody give me some feedback, feeling a little love. How's everybody's day been?
Okay.
Solid
Rainy.
okay.
It's rainy here. It's like really yucky. So
Oh, gross.
It felt weird. It felt weird to take a day off to the gym today.
The snow didn't let you go to the gym today?
I didn't do anything. I just woke up, went to work.
We're gonna mute one of
Does or
Bob's
doesn't?
screens.
she probably does.
Oh,
We'll let people trickle in for a minute.
I'll put it in the next.
We'll mute that one.
chicken.
We'll mute that one. I'll let
Chicken.
people slowly troll in. I had a good day. I've been on calls,
No clue.
like 11 calls. So for those who joined the challenge last night, props to you for just coming to day one and being ready to dive right in. I got Jared's call, I think tomorrow. Chat with him. A couple other people on there that I'll chat with. Kim's been blowing me up. Kim's revitalized with her goals.
So
Jared,
sorry, not sorry. I mean, I am, but also I'm
no,
not.
I like it. Share your light. She bought a reading light so that she doesn't get blue light at night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I need to go grab it. It's really, hold on, I'll go get it.
You go get it.
You know, the
Mhm.
way.
Yeah, we got some,
I'm about to switch to my phone because I have
same
my
faces.
camera is not
I
working.
give it another minute before I mute. Kim, you need to get on a call with me too, girl.
Yeah, we got to work on that. I'll send you a message when we're done.
Football season driving you crazy.
You guys will put away that.
Next.
And we
Wait.
just started baseball today.
Oh
So,
my God, you do baseball too?
yeah.
Jeez.
Fortunately, I'm not as involved in baseball.
What?
They're the little kids, they're the middle
Yeah,
schoolers,
how'd that
so
go?
They're
they
the
don't get
middle
me in.
schoolers.
Where'd you get the sandwich
Yeah.
from?
Monroe.
Oh.
All right. I'm gonna dive in. We'll go mute mode on everybody. So throw it in the chat if you've got anything you want to share, you want to say. If I could figure out how to do that. Technologically a mess tonight.
He was like,
Just do it one by one.
Wait, oh, sorry, I didn't know what you were using.
I'll just see who I'm hearing. And then we'll
Alexa, stop.
so much background
Oh,
noise.
like
Sometimes I get like everybody's life broadcast.
Okay.
Oh, I think
all yours.
the loud ones.
You have
Just go. I have like multiple monitors if you see me looking to the sky.
on
I still hear that child. It's adorable. Nope, I didn't find it yet. If I could find the mute all button, there it is, right in front of my face. It's gonna be one of those nights. It can't always be perfect, but now I got everybody on mute, keeping me in check. Promise tomorrow up at 4:30 a.m. CST before this stupid cold. You told me you would wake up, Kat. You said you were gonna wake up early today, get your workout in. I'm not saying you let me down, but prove me wrong tomorrow. Let's see if it actually happens. So last night, well, I'll just dive into tonight. So welcome back, everybody. If you're here tonight, hear it clearly. You're doing something different. Uh, a lot of people out there, we love the idea of change. It excites people, but few people stick around long enough to. Whoa, that's a big link. Few people stick around long enough to build it. So those of you that were here night one, showed up for night two, that just tells me we're not just thinking about the change. We're not just dreaming about it. We're going to work. We're going to create it. It's all good, Jill. That's what I'm here for. Got to take care of them little ones. But yeah, you're willing to work on it, willing to create it. So yesterday, if you missed it, it was all about just building clarity. So we defined the North Star, what the big thing is, what your one thing is. Then we broke down the year into quarters, into months, into weeks, into daily actions, because that's the boring stuff. But clarity without the execution is just fun thoughts. So tonight we'll try to make it practical with my three pillars. I'm health and fitness, nutrition, strength training, running all the above. So it's going to relate a lot to that. So we'll build the blueprint tonight around that. She said, that's better. I went for more sleep this morning, so doing my workout now. Good for you for multitasking, Val. I'm going to stay up to date on those comments as we go tonight. I'm not going to let that chat get away from me again. But yeah, tonight we'll build the blueprint. So yeah, day one, we zoomed out, took a look at the big picture, looked at who you want to become, looked at what you're actually chasing. Tonight, zoom back in. So we stop talking about someday, stop talking about I should, start hopefully talking about structure, game plan, execution, and getting the butt to work. So by the end of tonight, the goal is to leave knowing like what your week should look like, how you should structure your workouts, how nutrition should be structured, what the baseline habits should be, what to do when life gets away from you, when life gets messy. No theory on it, just the reality. So for those of you that were here last night, what was the biggest takeaway? Throw it in the chat. It could be personal. Um, Hopefully not just what sounded cool. I know my delivery is fantastic sometime, especially as I have a messy opening tonight and forget to mute everybody. But what was your biggest takeaway? Not what you think you should tell Coach Tom because you want to make him happy, cat. Um, what actually hit? What actually stuck, resonated? Maybe it's realizing you're winging it. Maybe it was just realizing that small actions do matter. Realizing you don't need to be perfect. It could be small things like that. Awareness is always first step. I did to kickbacks at the desk. I'm gonna imagine she said toe kickbacks. Keeping consistent, honoring myself, time before others. I'm one of my favorite quotes is you cannot pour from an empty cup. So you got to honor a little bit of your own time. You got to make time for you every single day, even though it's hard when you're chasing three, four, five kids around. It's tough. So learning how to break down my goal, make it more manageable and organized. Boom. I like the idea of breaking it into quarters, so it's not so overwhelming. I mean, we did that. We did that with Tasha. She came out with a weight goal, 20 at 5 pounds. Seemed crazy until you looked at it and it was like, okay, that's 12 and a half pounds in 6 months. Yep, math's good there. 7 3/4 in a quarter. Did I do that right? No, nope, I didn't. Six and there we go. See, math ain't mathing when I get up early. We just broke it down. Now you chunk it down to months, weeks. She's got like a half a pound to lose a week when we look at it like that. Commitment to self, taking things in small chunks. Jared, it's being consistent. Claudia, breaking down the goals by quarter, monthly, weekly. Funny, I always did health goals for the year. Way better to break them down. Boom. Breaking down timelines and celebrating the little wins. Little wins, especially if you're just starting, are big this time of year. I've said it last night. You're not going to lose 50 pounds in January. The little wins, it's that first pound. It's 2 pound, 3 pound, 4 pounds, 5 pounds, because then you gain momentum. Bob ain't loses over 100 pounds, overnight. It's gaining that momentum. Every time you follow through, you're casting a vote for who you want to be. That's another one of my favorite quotes. I put it in bold with arrows and stars in my notebook. Need to make sure I prioritize my health. Denise, you're a rock star with that. I'm excited to run with you next week in Cali. We're gonna get into that 5K, you and I. Never broke the year, never did it before. Daily actions determine the reality. So awareness. Awareness is step one to change, to transformation. Just being aware. Get moving. Also looking for a 5K bib for my wife. Put it in the other chat, Bob, and I will keep my hunt going. I am looking for bibs for that and princess for everyone and their mother. All right, so my 3 pillars: fitness, nutrition, and consistency. Everything tonight is gonna break down into those 3 pillars. I'm not gonna complicate it. I'm not gonna give you 10, 20, 30 because we talked about Kevin last night, my buddy, who tried to overcomplicate things and failed. Most people fail because they overcomplicate it. We need all the apps, all the gadgets, new programs, new supplements, new hacks. First question I get from random guys in the gym at least once every 2 weeks is, what supplements are you on? My butt's on whole lot of grilled chicken, steak, rice. I do take supplements, but I do not attribute anywhere I'm at today just to the supplements alone. A lot of hard work, a lot of effort, and just daily habits. So don't the supplement aisle. Walk into a Costco right now. Prime example. Kim and I went to Costco on Saturday. The entire front of Costco has been flipped to supplements. I wonder why. It's new year, new me time of year, and they know what they're doing. They know that people are working on themselves in January. Let's push all the supplements. We got creatine. There was berberine, which you don't even see out there. Supplements will not fix unhealthy habits. That's I have a lot of favorite quotes, Gina. You're going to learn. One of my other ones: you can't out supplement a bad diet. Can't do it. But you think you need all these things, hack supplements, programs, la di da di da. You don't. A lot of it is just structure. So fitness, I like to think it gives you capacity to do more. The science says we lose muscle after age 40, more so after age 50. That down regulates the metabolism, and that muscle, that's what keeps you, getting out of bed at 80 years old and not having to have somebody pull you out. That's when I look at talked about zooming out. I'll zoom real out. When I get 80 years old, we won't talk about how long it's going to take me to get there. I don't want anybody to have to pull me out of bed. I don't want to rely too much on any of that. Your friendly neighborhood food scientist would like to remind you that supplements are not regulated by the FDA. Accurate. Yep. And a lot of them are chronically just underdosed on what you should. So make sure you get it from your nutrition, because nutrition gives you the fuel. That's going to fuel the body. You can't even outwork a bad diet. Like I used to look at it when I first started, 100% it's the gym. That's what's going to transform me. Saw progress in the first 3 or 4 years, but when I learned nutrition, probably year 5 in, it was like a light switch. I watched how quick things could just change if you were doing it right. So consistency is what all ties it all together. I could eat well Monday through Friday, and then, well, maybe Friday afternoon, then happy hour in the Big Macs in the race. You can wash it all away. And I'm big on the 80-20 rule. You don't have to be perfect all the time, but if you can be consistent most of the time, you're gonna move forward in the right direction. So if one thing's missing, the whole thing tends to just fall apart. So being that I started as a fitness guy, I'm gonna simplify the heck out of fitness. I look at it as movement is medicine. It de-stresses us. It's been proven to extend the lifespan, but I really want to just simplify it, not because I think people are incapable of complex things, but complexity tends to just kill the consistency. Things you don't need. And I get this time of year especially, you need 6 different workout styles. New plan every week. No, no bueno. Being sore all the time, not something that's needed. Destroying yourself is not something that is needed. So these are things I had to learn along the way. There was a confuse the muscle. Confuse the muscle was a big fad when I first started working out. And yeah, let's just do a little bit of everything. And I don't, oh, I'm just gonna Google it. I'm gonna Google it. I have no shame. This Bruce Lee quote: "The man who practices 1,000 kicks, something like that." Ah, I love the what a time to be alive. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. So getting really good at something, I would jump from thing to thing, and let me go to CrossFit, and then I'm gonna try a spin class, and I'm gonna try this, and I never got really good at any of them. If you wanna run a marathon, I do not like your first marathon. I do not. I recommend you run at least 3 days a week, maybe four. But Monday shouldn't be running. Wednesday, rollerblading. Thursday, rock climbing. Friday, jujitsu. Like, no, you got to hone in if you're going to get good at something. And you know, throwing stuff at the wall and seeing if it sticks. New plan every week. So with strength training, anybody that's working with me now, they know they repeat stuff. They see a lot of the same stuff over and over for about 3 to 4 weeks, because that's how long it takes the body to adapt. And then the body stops adapting a little bit and we shake it up a little bit. But why am I doing why is squats my first exercise every single Monday morning, because now we know Monday morning you've got squats. Last time you did a squat, it was with 185 pounds. Tomorrow or next Monday, we're going to try it with 195. We try to get better and better and better. Thing I really had to learn, being sore all the time. Soreness is actually a poor indicator. Sorry, cat. Sorry, cat. I feel like you think I'm pointing the target right at you with this one, but soreness is a poor indicator of a good workout. It tends to mean you're just more so you're under recovering. So focusing on the sleep, the nutrition, and all that fun stuff. He said, no, not squats. That's because you're a strong runner. I don't give squats every Monday. Just using an example. Destroying yourself. I felt like if I didn't spend 2 or 3 hours in the gym, sorry, I didn't get a good workout. I was, oh my God, I have to feel like I was in a car accident once I got out of here. That's a good workout. When I scaled it back, I was like, oh, I want the path of least resistance. What is the minimal lever we can pull to see the maximum change? All right. So rethought my whole process of working out. Came focused on strength training, targeted strength training, repeated efforts, getting better every time, low intensity cardio. So while I train for runs, I still try to keep myself in zone two because the health benefits of zone two, I will not bore you with them tonight. I could do a whole training on zone two, but it's more and more, there's benefits coming out that it's just incredible for longevity, zone three occasionally. And maybe, if you want to mix in one hit day here or there, that's not, you could do that, but not too crazy on that because it'll spikes up the cortisol level. I'm not going to get too much into hormones tonight. Don't let me go on the tangents. She said, all good. Dom's queen. For those that don't know Dom's, delayed onset muscle soreness, Cat is in fact the queen of that. And then daily movement, consistent movement. Like, was it, man, I did have like 12 or 13 one-on-one calls today, but I think it was Kim who told me, Kim, your goal was to start getting 5,000 steps daily again, right? Yeah, I think it was her.
Yep. It was
5,000
me.
steps. So I said,
Yep.
once we could do that, I didn't tell her to jump to 10,000 because 10,000 seems to be the arbitrary number everybody puts on the amount of steps you should get every day. I didn't tell her to go to 10,000. I said, if we can do that for a month consistently, let's try to get 6. Let's try to add 1,000 more steps. So I get 1,000 steps on a walk with the dog. I know she can do that. So daily movement and then increasing it a little bit over time if you can. That's it. Simple. When you structure them correctly, fat loss becomes easier. Your performance should improve. The body should feel better instead of beaten down. One thing I love about changing the philosophy, I don't wake up in at night in pain anymore. I don't feel beaten down and broken up. My hormones wiling out and I can't sleep. It's no fun. Why does the strength training matter? And a lot of people ask this. I mentioned it a little before. We start losing muscle at about 40 years old. It starts naturally. We age-related sarcopenia. Again, not gonna bore you with the science, but we just naturally lose muscle, and muscle tends to control the metabolism. I read a study earlier today, watched a video on it, and this might PO a lot of people, and it was just a brief study I read, but it was talking about menopause, and women say I gain weight during menopause, and they're attributing a lot of that now to the actual loss of muscle and not so much menopause symptoms. So we're losing more muscle as we get older, and people aren't doing anything to offset that. So lose more muscle, we burn less calories. Muscle has a higher metabolic cost than fat. So it costs and seems so tiny, so minimal, but it's like 9 to 11 calories is what a pound of muscle burns on you. You burn an additional 9 to 11 calories with a pound of muscle. Fat's like 3 to 5. I can hunt it down, Val. I'll hunt down the video and that I saw. I know who posted it. And 3 to 5. Remind me, send me a DM and I'll send it to you. I'll have to do some hunting. 3 to 5 calories for fat seems very small. I took an in-body scan yesterday, 2 days ago. I had 120 pounds of muscle on me. So if we multiply that by 9 calories, I'm burning a little more than the average person. So this is where I think people get it wrong, but the exact amount varies. 6 to 10, significantly more than fat's 2 calories. Bob, what did you go to ChatGPT or something? It's so professional. He pulled that off somewhere, unless he just typed that up. So yeah, it's exact amount varies, but this is where I was gonna say a lot of people get it wrong is that they think the strength is optional, it's just for looks. It's extra. I don't view it as extra. I view it as a foundation because muscle's what's gonna get me. Think about the squat that Jared hates. We squat every day. I'm gonna squat when I get out of this chair. I'm gonna squat when I sit in my car. Squat. They call it a foundational movement because it is the foundation. We do squats in almost everything we do. Pushing things, pulling things, not so much, but they're still foundational because we move in those directions. Muscle is very metabolically active tissue, so it burns calories while you're resting. It helps to stabilize your joints, helps you protect from injury. It supports positive hormones in the body. So if you want, and I'm not saying you gotta have 120 pounds of muscle on you, but if you want long-term weight loss, fat loss, muscle is very, very key to that equation. Want to run better? Muscle on your body. You got to have a little bit of muscle, lean muscle. Want to age well, muscle. If I nerd out too much, I apologize. And if you're on the other end of the spectrum and you want to nerd out more, especially on the topic of aging well with muscle, look up Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. She is fantastic. But I view strength as non-negotiable. Want the ramps to suck less at mile 10? Strength train. It's funny, Kim. My first Disney race was Star Wars 2017, I want to say. And I did the 10K and the half. I had never done a 10K before, never done a half, and did barely train the cardio. But when I got to that big old arm on ramp where John Pelkey's wife hangs out now, I got to that ramp. That was the one place I felt I didn't slow down once. And I attribute it to just the strength training getting me through and helping me there. There's many ways you can structure strength training. I have a lot of runners on here, so I went with methods I go with more so for the running community because you're running Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is what I see most. Said let's do strength Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I like the total body thing. I don't so much love, and I will take people through option B sometimes. But option A is what I found enables me to run and not have a loss in performance. So it's simple, it's effective. Can I say it's perfect? No. Is it fancy? Absolutely not. But 3 sessions a week, full total body, total body. That way I'm just hitting legs. I'm hitting legs with one exercise, maybe 4 sets, maybe 2 exercises, but I'm doing it 3 times a week. Not enough to make you feel like your legs are shot for your Saturday run, but enough that it triggers that anabolic response you're looking for. Option B, push, pull, push, legs, pull. And I buck the trend on the fitness industry because you will only ever hear people talk push, pull, legs. And the reason I tend to program legs on a Wednesday is because I work with a lot of runners. We're going to pick on Jared again. I know Jared does 5 a.m. runs on Saturday morning, and he does long runs. I've seen him on my way into the gym to strength train, knee deep in his run, and I've seen him on my way out of the gym on that same run, still going. What the hell sense does it make for me to give him legs on a Friday and destroy his legs? Because he ain't going, that run gonna take even longer. I'll go get lunch at 2 p.m. and see him still going. So we mix some core into there, mix stability work, mobility work, but keep it simple. Most people don't need more days, it's just need better structure. I see guys in the gym 5 days a week doing the bro split. And if you don't know what a bro split is, I very rarely program this for people very dependent on their goals. You know, if they're running a lot, I won't do it. But a bro split is Monday, chest, triceps, Tuesday, back, biceps, Wednesday, legs or shoulders, Thursday, the opposite, shoulders or legs. Friday, they tend to do arms because they're going out to the club, most people doing the bro split. So that having the right structure, very good. But you won't see me whip that one out too much. For challenge training, like Dopey, should we scale back, skip, change the Friday lift if there's a run in there? That's what I do for you, Kim. I make sure you're good there. I take care of all that. But yes, we should be adapting and modifying. I think Kat wanted to kill me. We'll bring up Kat again. Kat wanted to kill me during dopey training because she still wanted to work legs. There was a body part she didn't want to lose. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna blow her spot too much. I don't want to lose my something. And I said we got to dial back the legs. You are 1 month out from dopey. The volume's got to be lower. The weight's got to be lower. Yep. I let her say it instead of you, the peach. She didn't want to lose. She didn't want to lose her backside. So 1 month will not make you lose the backside. But I had to have come to Jesus. Never do chest and triceps together either. I agree with that, Bob. But how many dudes do you see in the gym doing chest and tries on Monday? Like I avoid the bench press on Monday morning like the plague for that reason. Because everyone and their mother is doing it. But let me not geek too much out on that. I could go on all night with some of this stuff. Zone 2 cardio. Oh man, my picture disappeared? What? Lame. I had a picture in there. All right, so zone 2 is where most people tend to sabotage themselves, in my opinion. A lot of people believe cardio has to hurt to work. I coached group fitness for almost, I was with the brand for 9 years. Got to watch people that came in 5, 6, 7 times a day. No, a week. 7 times a week. If you're working out 5, 6, 7 times a week, I believe there should be some progress. And in the group structure, I am very much locked into. I had to coach what was in the Bible, what was on the paper. And the reason I'm not anymore is because I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the mentality. I know how to pull the right levers to figure out to make sure we get progress. And I watch people kill themselves and just jack up their hormones and just go, 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 and try to kill themselves every single day. And there's actually, I won't mention anybody in particular because I think somebody knows some people. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, yep. Can't mention anybody in particular, but there's a couple I've known as long as I was with them with that brand, and I'm like, there is not one need those flat points. It's they built the brand around that, and there is not one like I looked at pictures from back then because I get the Facebook memories compared to pictures now. I'm like, you've been doing this work, and I'm sure great for you got the heart health, you've built some muscle in the process, but neither of them has had any substantial physical change. And I'm like, man, we gotta try something different. Like, so the progress will you're not gonna get the same. Cardio does not have to hurt to work. So every run, every run has to be hard. Every bike ride has to be hard. Every session has to be a grind. You get exhausted, you burn out, you want to quit, or you get injured. Mixing in zone 2, like coming off dopey training, for me, it was, yeah. I think Chris, for anybody who works with Chris Twigs, run this 2 minutes slower than marathon pace. Run this 20 miles 2 minutes slower than your marathon pace. It's not it's not particularly hard other than the fact that it's long because I'm going slower and but the heart rate stays stable and you're sustainable. You're building up for 48.6 miles. So zone 2 should almost feel too easy. Still breathe through your nose. You can hold a conversation. You don't dread it. That builds the aerobic base. It improves recovery, supports fat loss, and zone 2 is just so many benefits there. Not to say you shouldn't ever go into the other zones. Don't take that the wrong way. But there's so much in benefit in zone 2. You do not need to kill yourself every single day. Please don't kill yourself every single day. Don't spin your wheels. But I'll say sample cardio week, 2 to 3. If you're training for a race, it's got to be 3. If you 3. Sometimes you need mental health. Just need a rage run in zone 4. Accurate. But, 3 for the race, 2 to 3 otherwise, and the optional speed session here and there. And that's your rage run, Kim. That's your rage run, the speed session. I'm dealing with some ankle pain right now. I think I mentioned that last night. I don't want to I don't want to push it on the treadmill, but I did feel like I did need to let a little let out this morning. I had some extra I had a lot of calls. I said that like 5 times tonight. A lot of calls today. So I was like, I got to get a good workout and get my energy right, feel good. But my strength day was yesterday. And I was like, I could just do some extra abs, but that's not gonna get me going. So I did Stairmaster sprints, which probably not the best for the ankle, but that was fun. I will absolutely be rotating speed work and hill work with New York training coming. Doing both in the same week, I'd probably separate them, but you know, you're gonna exhaust the same muscle groups. So I'll when we get to the challenge, I'll probably go a little further down this rabbit hole. I'm gonna copy that and add it to my little notes so I can deep dive on it a little more because I don't want to bore too much. How do I copy? Come on, let me copy. There, got it. So generally, generally running, you are gonna work your quads and your calves primarily. Those will be the muscle groups. If you're just doing zone two runs, zone two runs and long distance, we see that the quads and the calves generally have a huge imbalance to the hamstrings and glutes. Why? Why do we see runners with injured hamstrings a lot and glute pain? Yes, because they've got weak hamstrings and glutes. Jared said, speed work, you activate more hamstrings doing speed work. Hill work, your hamstrings get involved. As a run coach, I don't recommend both. So now we're smoking the hamstrings out twice a week. I don't like it. What if you have super physical extra activities in the training schedule? What are the super physical extra training activities? But yes, I don't like them in the same week because you're pounding that muscle group a little too much. And with runners, it tends to be the most the biggest weakness in the armor, as I like to look at
So
it.
sorry, I had to find the mute button on my phone. But so like I do like aerial for several hours a day, several days a week. So that's why I was like, how does that work out with the running training and adding the strength training in there as well?
Wait, what'd you say you do a couple times a week?
So I do like aerial lyra, I do aerial silks, uh, flying pole, things like that are very physically demanding. Because I
Pretty
like
awesome.
climbed to like a 20-foot ceiling, I don't know, 30 times in an
How long you
hour.
been doing it?
Um, 4 or 5 years.
Your body's probably it's still challenging, but I'm betting your body's adapted to it a little more. So you could probably handle it better than if I was to go and start doing aerial and I'd have to rebalance my schedule, but I'm betting you could, with your background in it, you could find that balance. And it sounds like that's your thing.
I love it. It's fun.
That's your thing. You love it. It's fun. Don't change it. And make sure anything else you add in doesn't hinder it, is what I'd say. That's where, like, all right, you could throw in the strength training, but if you feel like, let's see, I'm imagining your arm strength and your back strength is probably really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be for that. So, like, if we were to go into that bro split and you're doing back and biceps like Bob told us not to do, and you're just destroying the back and biceps on Tuesday, and then you've got an hour long aerial class that you're going to,
Hmm.
ain't gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be pretty. So that's why I said, okay, let's scale that back. Same thing where, Kat, I had to tell her your priority right now is dopey. You've been training 9 months for dopey. Your butt can wait a little bit. We can lay off squats, we can lay off deadlifts. You can still go through the range of motion, but it's something you might personally, you might look and say, oh, deadlifts, super heavy deadlifts. killing my grip. I can't grip the silks. All right, I got to scale back the deadlifts. Still going through the range of motion and opening it up, activating the muscle. I think there's still value there. Is that kind of
Okay.
answer?
Yeah.
Cool.
I figured we'd cover it when we have our one-on-one call, but
I like it. Oh, oh God, she's jumping into another race. This one till February 1st. True story. So I'll actually take a pause. Take a pause, but like think about this. You could do it later, you could do it now, but write it in the notebook later. Sketch out the ideal week, not the perfect week, not the fantasy week, realistic. What does it look like? When could you strength train? When could you do zone two cardio? When could you go out for a walk? Simplify it. Don't try to like impress anybody with it because it'd be your plan, but build something you can actually do. So, I had a couple people start with me one-on-one in November. Start one-on-one in November at the tail end of their dopey training. And it's like, well, I really want to dive right into the strength training. I'm like, you have so much on your plate right now. Why don't we just do 2 days instead of three? We'll start two. We can go to three post race in January and build up from there. But like, you got to zoom out again and say, what can I realistically do? Is it 2 days? Is it three? I I don't think I could do four right now. And I'm somebody who loves to lift things. Like, get my 30 to 45-minute run. I do 15 to 30 minutes of core work just because I like being in the gym. So think about yours. Think about what that looks like for you. And we're gonna talk nutrition next. Nutrition, I'm a firm believer in a balanced diet. We'll get my mentality and stuff out of the way first. If we end up hanging out in the future, or if you're just here for one night and I'll never see you again, this mentality does not change. I will, if Kat or Kim or anybody I work with one-on-one calls me ever and says, oh my God, it's my anniversary. Here's a link to the menu. It's my 25th anniversary. I'm doing so well on my nutrition. Here's a link to the menu at the 5-star my husband's bringing me to. What should I eat that's healthy? Kim said it. Eat the damn churro. I have a shirt with Eat the Damn Churro on it. If you're going to Disney World and you're taking your once a year vacation with your kids, you can go off track with nutrition for a week and it's not going to kill you. I just witnessed, I got, and I told them this was going to happen. But in my group, I said, y'all, you're all going to Disney. You're running dopey, which is highly stressful on the body. You're going to be in a state of inflammation, and you're going to eat. You're going to celebrate. You're going to be merry. You got your family there. And everybody freaked out. Like, oh my God, the scale's going to go up. And it always does. It almost always 7 to 10 pounds is normal after a weekend like that. Bob, that was 100% me. The food, oh, he's jumping ahead on me. I like it. But yeah, Disney calories don't count unless you're at Disney every weekend like me. Then you got to think about it a little more. But enjoy the vacation, enjoy the anniversary, enjoy the birthday party. December gets a little rough. We do a little too much of that, but we'll get there. Um, but most people aren't overeating. They're just undereating a lot of the right things. So balanced diet, enjoy it, embrace it, just have a little bit of everything and don't drive yourself crazy. And I think it's just a huge misconception. A lot of people think they're failing because they're overeating. A lot of people tend to be undereating protein, undereating carbs for the activity level. You overthink everything when you start tracking. We also guess. We tend to, react emotionally. Emotional eating with food, that's a whole different story. I could spend an hour and a half talking about that one. But the one success that I found is just having the system. Not just having rules, but having a system. You go break rules all the time. The system kind of adapts to it. I know that we don't have dinner prepped for tonight. And I asked Kim right before I came in here with you. I said, what are we doing for dinner tonight? She goes, I don't know. It wasn't my job to figure it out tonight. So I might be leaving to get tacos right after we chat. And I'm okay with that. But set some pillars. I want to tap back to Bob. Like when Bob and I started working together, he just said that was 100% me. the food, not eating enough, and he was stuck. He's like, I've been stuck right over, I think it was 305, 310, somewhere in that neighborhood for a little bit. And I said, dude, you're knee deep in dopey training. We upped his calories and he's 282 today. So he went down by going up. That was not on my list of things to worry about today. Me today. It's not Tuesday. We're a Taco Wednesday family because we always get tacos on Survivor Night. So by going up, he ended up going down on the scale. The pillars for nutrition, these are the big ones. Protein, carbs. Carbs get a bad name. Carbs are not your enemy, especially if you run. Again, once I get into nutrition stuff and the weight loss, weight training stuff, I start to geek out. Fats, hydration, and fiber, especially as you get a little older. But every nutrition plan should be built on those 5 things. Not detoxes, not trends, not the hacks, not the girl you saw on Instagram that says she drinks. Every morning I drink 2 drops of lemon juice followed by a dash of cayenne pepper, and that keeps me lean. I promise you that is not what keeps her lean. She is doing some other stuff. And if any of those things up there are missing, it leads to low energy. It leads to, it just leads to cravings, poor recovery, mood swings, burnout. I have cut carbs. It leads to mood swings. I've gone 0 carbs. It leads to misery until you get used to it. But looking at all of them, protein builds muscle and it protects muscle. So when you run, running is a catabolic sport. So catabolic versus anabolic. Anabolic helps build up the muscle. It sets your body up in a state to build muscle. Catabolic sets you into a state of breaking down muscle. So protein protects that. Protein helps to protect that. Protein can be hard, but it's different for everybody on the protein number, Wendy. So we'll look at your protein number. I'll give you some feedback on yours. Carbs, they fuel the training, the recovery. They fuel your brain. If you've ever done keto, you're going to get brain fog. Fats, you ever notice you eat a big steak and you're not full or you're not hungry later? Fats and protein have something called satiety. So satiety keeps you full. I've never eaten a big old steak and been like, man, I'd go for a bag of chips. I have eaten a bag of chips and said, oh, I can go for something else real quick. I need some other food. Leave you hungry. Fiber helps digestion, helps you also feel full. Hydration, the list is long. It supports everything. You'll always see me drinking some water. So don't let any of them go missing. But work on the structure to get them all. And again, protein, I look at it as a structure. It's just satiety. It keeps you full, protects muscle, supports metabolism. The RDA on protein is it's that number is the bare minimum to live. It should be somewhere, but don't trust the RDA. This is coming from a food scientist. I was really hoping you chimed in, Kim. Thank you. I was hoping you chimed in, but that's the bare minimum to live on is what they give you, and it is low. It is low. Science, it's all saying 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight or target body weight. Recommended daily amount. Yeah, recommended daily amount. So how much the government tells you should be getting. But it really is closer to 0.8 to 1.2, or simplify it, 1 gram per pound of goal body weight. Now, I'm going to caveat that. If you are 300 pounds, that's why I don't like saying this one. If you're 300 pounds and your goal is to be 150, you are still eating way too little there. You want to meet in the middle. I don't think I can eat 200. And now we look at, Bob, crazy amount, trying to get up to 280. We try to get him on a decent amount, but not not that much. So it kind of works both directions. It is playing with the numbers and finding the numbers that work for you and work to move things in the right direction. But carbs are the fuel source. Anytime I've gone low carbs, workouts have sucked. My recovery sucked. That's because they help power the workouts. They help recovery. They help the hormones. And then you got fats, low fat. Never recommend it for a woman. What was that? The 90s or the 80s where low fat was the craze. Fats help with regulation. So they're going to help with your hunger. They're going to help support your hormones. They're going to slow down digestion. None of them are bad, but in imbalancing any of them is bad. So it's you go too low on one, you go too high on another, it can throw you off, and we don't want that. We don't want that. Sorry, we're getting into my happy place. I know we are. Oh, look, I jumped ahead. This is what happens when I ramble. zero point 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. Carbs, I recommend higher on training days, which means I have to go back up a little bit into my chat. Bop, 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 bop. Jared, getting enough carbs is my struggle. That's I'm looking forward to our call. We got one-on-one call tomorrow, so I'm gonna very curious about that. And then balance the rest with fats. So carbs are energy source. If I'm going on a 20-mile run, on Saturday, I'm gonna elevate my carbs on Friday because I run at 5 or 6 in the morning. I'm gonna elevate my carbs a little bit on Friday so that I have a little extra fuel in the tank, but I'm also gonna take in more to support the recovery and support the run on Saturday. And then once I figured out all those macros, I know my calories, I know where I got my protein at, I know where my carbs are gonna be for the day. I balance the rest with fats and I try to keep that somewhere around 30 to 35% of my overall calorie intake. That's me personally. You might be different. You might be different, and these are not rigid rules. They're just starting points. So again, I try to look for levers to pull when I work with people. So which lever can I pull? All right, can we reduce the carbs just a little bit, so that cat's not tired during her squat day or her long runs? All right, yeah, we could do that. Now the scale's moving in the right direction. Perfect. Don't even change anything. If the scale starts going down, everybody wants to touch things. Don't touch it until it stops going down. Don't move it around. Fiber 25 to 35 grams a day, water 80 to 120 ounce. That changes if you sweat a lot, if you go in the sauna. So make sure, you're getting enough water. If you focused on just protein, fiber, and water consistently, almost all nutrition issues would improve because so many people are really low on the protein. They're dehydrated, and a lot of people aren't regular enough. From fiber is healthy. Fiber is good. It's not going to improve dramatically, but it'll be a little more predictable. It'll move in the right direction. I have a few people that don't love tracking, and if you don't love tracking, I'll talk about that one-on-one with you. Feel free to reach out after here. Tracking. If you have bad relationship with food, bad relationship with scale, tracking can drive you nuts. But it shouldn't trap you. It should be a little more freeing. It does get a bad reputation. A lot of people think it's obsessive, it's too restrictive, it's unhealthy. You can't improve what you can't see. So even if somebody says, unless we're not working on nutrition at all together, but if somebody says, I don't like to track, I don't want to track forever, say, can we track for 1 week and just see where you're at? Okay, we tracked for 1 week and we found out that 200-pound male Tom, we'll use me as an example, 200-pound male Tom is getting in 60 grams of protein. And he's going to the gym 5 days a week. So he's breaking muscle down, but he's not giving it the tools to rebuild. That's the first lever I'm going to pull. Now, how do we do this without tracking? Tom, can you eat one more piece of grilled chicken a day? Can you get in one more protein shake? Until that becomes so easy and it's like a natural habit for Mr. Tom, where I say, hey, can you throw in, maybe some egg whites to that protein shake to bring it up to 25 more grams of protein a day? All right. Well, now a couple weeks in, we've added 45 grams. Tom's up to 125 and he's noticing the body start to change. But I'm a believer, you can't improve what you can't see. Tracking shouldn't be about control. It should just be about clarity and getting a good visual on it. Personally, I'm not tracking regularly right now. That being said, I eat very standard during the week. So if me and the missus decide we're going on vacation, we are. We're going on vacation in August. I will probably get really dialed in on tracking come May. Maybe April. April's my birthday month and springtime surprise, maybe not. Sometime in May where I'll track a little more meticulously so I can make sure I'm dialed in. But my meals throughout the day, like I said, I was on 17 calls today or something like that, and I had all the meals prepped for the week. I know that I'm getting enough protein just because I eat very structured through 3 to 4 meals a day. It's very structured, so I know I'm getting enough in, and I know the other things I'm taking in, but it takes a little bit to get to that point. The tracking should remove the guessing, should remove, emotion on it, should just give you data and say, okay, well, that's where we're off. Data you can adjust instead of, oh my God, the scale's not moving and I don't know why, if that makes sense. So, find out what your boring baseline looks like. Write down the boring baseline, not the perfect day, not the when life is calm day, just the normal day for you. Like write down the boring baseline. What would your simple breakfast look like? For me, my simple breakfast is a serving of oatmeal. I work out first thing in the morning. So I tend to get a protein shake before and after because I'm in the same boat as Bob. I'm taking in 240 grams of protein a day currently, and it's a lot to get in. So I have one before, one after, and after that, the real breakfast, it's oatmeal with either eggs or with a little bit of peanut butter because I just love peanut butter. That's my good one. What would a simple lunch look like for you? We just talked about how my meals are very simple. I'm a grilled chicken. I've got ground chicken. I've got ground bison. I've got tilapia currently on the menu. And those are just the ones that I don't have to think about during the day. And then what does simple dinner look like? Just another thing. I've been chatting with Kim a lot in the DMs today. Chatting with Miss Kim's story in the DMs. And I mentioned to her, I said, when we got off the call last night, I came out, there were taco balls ready. And I'm like, I've eaten so healthy all day. And it was rice, ground chicken, some lettuce, she must have put some other stuff in there, pico and all this other stuff. And I'm like, wow, that looks healthy. And then I turn my back and I turn back again and I see her crunching up what I thought was Doritos. And I'm like, I had such a good day eating, and you just poured Doritos into this healthy looking taco ball. Meanwhile, my crazy wife, it was Quest chips. So it was 10 grams extra protein for both of us. And I was like, hun, good hack there. Quest Dorito chips. So I was all about it. Simple dinner, that's where we vary it up. Dinner's our time together, so we vary up the eating a lot. And then what snacks you could repeat? Not enough fiber, too much fat. Best fiber source. This is where I struggle, and it's not the coffee. Kat, we'll talk about that on our call this week. I'm going to catch up on that. I told you I wasn't going to lose control of the chat. I did. Why is going up in food consumption during the last 3 weeks of dopey training actually equating to 3 pounds of weight loss? Bob was under fueling big time. He was not giving his body enough to repair the damage he was doing. So the body was just constant state of inflammation, breaking down the muscle, didn't want to lose fat. And yeah, that can definitely happen. Recommended daily amount. Oh, I went too far back in the chat. Going to the happy place. Let's see. Have I ever used maltodextrin before a run? I have, back in the day. I have. I actually take, I'm not sure if Malta is I was also struggling to get carbs in. And this mainly I'll use it if I'm trying to actively gain muscle and I want quick, fast carbs. Not recommended for everybody, but I'm actually making sure I pull the right ingredient in my other window. I was taking a supplement that is you take 1 scoop of it and it is 43 grams of carbs. It's a straight up carb shot. I just take it right after working out, and it's dextrose monohydrate, which is similar. I'm gonna take maltodextrin. Oh, crazy. I've lost 100. I'm not letting you gain it back, Bob. Tracking does help me stay consistent. You're not going backwards. But yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep diving. So ask yourself what that looks like. Repetition, boring, but repetition probably the quickest way if you have a real big goal weight for this year. Decision fatigue. Decision fatigue will kill consistency. I drive back from my haircut every Friday and I'm always hungry. You would think I would plan for this, and I drive past McDonald's and Taco Bell when I'm driving back, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm always thinking about just going off the deep end and getting it. So the weekly blueprint, we're gonna connect, day one and day two. We got the big goal, the quarter, the month, the week, the day. That's how we predict the transformation. So nothing emotional, nothing dramatic, unpredictable. Just ask, what your week's going to look like and how it's going to make your days easier. The week shouldn't be too random. If it's not scheduled, I don't think it's as real. So decide, when are you going to strength train? When do you make time for that? When are you gonna run? When are you gonna meal prep? What's the minimum standard? So build yourself that structure, and also throw in there, when do you rest? Is Sunday rest day? For me, Sunday is rest day. That is my time with Kim. I know we have the whole day together. We'll work out together on Saturday, but that is like, hun, that's the rest day. And schedule it out. Don't feel like the schedule should trap you. It should more so free you and say, all right, I got this done now. I feel good because I got that training done. But then you get rid of just constantly deciding, oh, am I going to go to the gym today? Am I going to run today? Oh, what should I meal prep? I'll prep the whole Monday through Thursday. It's prepped on Sunday morning. I'm an early riser, so it's usually done before the missus wakes up. And a lot of transformations, they tend to feel, a lot of people aren't going to want to hear this, but they fail because not because people can't do it, but because you're trying to do it alone. So we don't fail because we're lazy. Just failing. Can I share how you get your macro info? Sure, I will in a second. I will. But you can't get feedback when you're alone. You can't get adjustments, accountability, structure. It's not a character flaw. It's a system flaw. I am fortunate that I get a group of people and group coaching people and one-on-one people. When I wake up to your messages, it makes me want to work out. And I'm like, I'm driving to the gym. Luckily, nobody except Jared's on the road at 4 o'clock in the morning running. And I'm like messaging back and I'm looking through all the messages and I'm like, oh man, we got to win here. Like being surrounded by that is super powerful. So find yourself some support, some structure, some accountability. That's what I do here. If you're not in the if you're one-on-one or you're in group, you're already in the challenge. Don't ask me again. You're already in the challenge. But if you're not in the challenge, shoot me a message after this. I'm not going to bore you with sales pitch and come and join. And you have my contact information. If you want to talk more, if you like what you heard, reach out. But, I handle a runner specific program adjustments when life gets crazy. And, that's my slideshow. Now let's go back to my questions. Let me stop sharing my screen. Stop sharing my screen so you get a full view of my ugly mud. How I get macros info. So I use a couple different calculators as a starting point. Starting point's the big thing. From there, I'm gonna have you track for a week. And that's, in the challenge, if you're in the challenge, the 6-week challenge, I have to make some time constraint issues where I'll make some assumptions. But if we're one-on-one or in group, I'll usually tell you track for a week so we can see what the heck you're doing now. Good example. One would have assumed if Bob and I didn't have his onboarding call while he was outside the airport one night picking up I believe it was his wife. One would have assumed Bob's 300 pounds when we first started talking, 300 plus pounds. One would assume he's overeating. We had our call. Bob was like, I'm eating 1,000 calories a day currently, and the scale has not moved. That tells me something's wrong. Your body's got a very specific job. it wants to keep you alive. It is designed to keep you alive as long as you can. And if you're starving it, it's gonna be like, I'm not letting go of this fat. No, hell no. I'm in a state of stress right now. I need this fat to stay alive. So, okay, he should be eating this, is what the calculator says. He is eating this. We have to meet in the middle, but he does have a goal. He does have a goal for Dopey. So I can't push him too hard towards where I think he should be right out the gate. He's going to get a calorie adjustment. And we're going up again. I'm gonna make him go up again and see if we can get that needle moving a little more before we go back down again. But that's a different story. And the biggest thing I see, different calculators, I'll give you different numbers. Biggest thing I see with the calculators, they take into account 5 things. Those 5 things, your age. Your age is your age. Your age is not changing until you get a year older. Your weight, the goal is to get that to change, but it is a definite number right now. Your gender, you can change that now, but that's a whole different story for another night and all that. But the gender is I am a male right now. I for this for the foreseeable future as well. I'm going on a tangent and nah, I kid. And your height. I'm not getting any taller, I don't think, at my age. I don't see it happening. Number 5 is the one where people screw up grossly. And this can skew this number, your calorie number, anywhere from 500 probably upwards of 1,000, and it's activity level. The amount of people that have come and we've had initial call and they fill out all their information and they tell me they're sedentary. They're sedentary, and okay, that means you sit on your butt. You're doing exactly what we're all doing right now. You're not Val working out right now. You're sitting on your butt and you're not doing anything. And they're like, "Yeah, I'm sedentary. I put that on my intake form." Like, all right, so you're not doing any activity at all. Well, I've been training for Dopey for the past 6 months. I run 45 minutes twice a week, and I do go to a Pilates class. Are you doing all that? You are at moderately, you're not at the athlete level, but you're at least at level 3. You could be at very active. Big difference in the calories there. And you see it with the other side. I'm very active. And I get to look. I get to look on my app once I get people up and running. I'm like, oh, you got 2,000 steps in every day this week. And you did get your strength training in. So I'm not going to say you're sedentary, but you're, 3 workouts. That puts us in light to moderate. You're definitely not at the athlete level. Athlete level tells me you're burning a super amount of calories. So the calculator is good. It's a jump off. It's a starting point, but the individual is much more important and seeing where they're at, where they want to go, what bridges the gap between the two, how we can close that delta and, then looking at all the variables. I get a lot of people that are perfect Monday through Friday and they track and they hit their protein goals and then Saturday rolls around and we all get to the finish line together and we're having some beers and you don't have to be a saint. I'll never, hand slap anybody for having a glass of champagne at the finish line. But if we're having a glass of champagne every night and you forgot to put it in the tracker, might slow things down. I run alone, so if in the challenge I will go into that big time. I may run alone and strength training alone, but with great coaches in the group. Thank you so much, coach. Aw, you're so sweet. I also run alone and work out alone. I know I'm going overtime. I saw you look at the watch. I'm going overtime. I'll hit the last of the questions. If anybody's got to go early, you got my contact information. Feel free to message me, but I will hit anything else in this chat. We'll see if I missed anything. Discovered I prefer to do my strength alone. I do. The gym is 2 people. I prefer strength alone until I go for a PR and a bench press. Then I'm like, I need another human. And me being the loner in the gym with the strength stuff doesn't help when you need a spot and you're looking for that person that can pick it up. My wife gets scared when I ask her to do it. I'd like to note I get my 7 to 8 hours of sleep still. It's awesome. So for challenge, start tracking now. Absolutely. Start if you got MyFitnessPal, start now. Start now. Not if you reverse the numbers, except when you get to 44 and then you subtract 1. I missed something. Does that mean I get a redo on my 40th? The first one sucked and my partner had a surgery that day. We'll give you a redo on 40. Step count on non-run days is embarrassing. Um, I might have mentioned that last night, but when I stopped group coaching, I stopped being on my feet for 4 hours a day. And if anybody's ever been in Orange Theory, it's a small studio. I was like a just back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. I was getting 10,000 steps before the sun came up. Like it was 8 a.m., 9 a.m. I coached 4 classes and I'm like, oh, 12,000 steps for the day. I'm killing it. And then I went into the office role. I was running 19 of them. I'm driving from studio to studio and I started gaining weight. I'm like, what the heck is happening, man? My diet's the same. My workout's very similar. I haven't changed anything. I'm a data nerd, so I'm like looking at everything. And then I looked at my step count and I'm like, oh, even today I'm at 7,900. I'm not where I normally am over 10K just because I've been in the chair a little bit today. But that step count dropping accounted for that scale going up. Accounted for that scale going up. Then I started, okay, what do I do? Got more active, started moving more, whether it was instead of driving home to be on the laptop and answer all the questions that I get or in the middle of the night, I'd walk on the treadmill and make sure I respond to everybody's message before 8 a.m. I'd spend another 20 minutes walk, make sure everybody's answered before going and diving into everything else. Mine too, but I also try to get some bike time in. I like that. Yeah, step count will go down on the bike. No way to really track it. It was messages, not you. Oh, okay. See, I'm behind on this chat. You used to lift alone. When you go for a PR on bench, Tom, you need 2 humans. Oh my God. Oh man, I forgot my little thank you. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming and hanging out with me the past 2 nights. Group coaching, you get a third night of me tomorrow. Some of y'all I'll see anyway tomorrow. Anybody got any more questions? I don't have anywhere to be. Wife's watching Gossip Girl for the 19th time. She got me watching a pirate show now. Sadokin on Netflix, only because it's got the guy from Gossip Girl. Chuck Bass is in it, and he catching the pirates. So I'll sit here all night if y'all want. No questions, no comments, no concerns. Best fiber options. Grass, any greens, any greens, broccoli, anything like that is going to be good. I get a lot of fiber from oats, oatmeal, um, lentils, another good one. It's got to be the one that works best for you. That's why I was struggling on fiber intake. So that's why my breakfast shifted to oatmeal and TMI. Eggs used to be that'd be my breakfast every day, whether I had to hard boil them for the sake of time or what. Hard boil them for the sake of time, and my fiber intake was low. TMI wasn't as regular as I wanted to be, and yeah, I switched things up. Switch things up. Um, Thank you for the details. I'll link up with you offline with my ultra training, how to safely work in strength training, still have a life. That's what I do. Beautiful. Tell us newbies about the group coaching. Gina, the good thing coming, the transformation challenge starts on February 9th. Group coaching, always taking applicants for new people. But either way, there's a little link in the email I sent out tonight. So check that out. Shoot me a message. I'll shoot you a message. And yeah, I'll put it all in there. Berries, good option too. You know what? Speaking of berries, because I told you I'm not in a rush. If anybody ever tells you fruit is the devil, no one ever got overweight off fruit. Everybody's trying to demonize fruit these days, and I'm over it. I'm over it. That'll be my fruit is your friend. That is my last bit of rant. I'll leave you all with it. You don't need to become a new person. You just need solid systems for yourself. That was the goal, to hopefully give you some solid systems. You're not behind. If you're just getting started, you are not behind. You're just building, and hopefully the blueprint helps. So I'll leave you with that tonight. Everybody, go have a fabulous night. Eat some good dinner, and keep kicking butt. I hope to talk to everybody soon.
Have a good night.
All
Heck
right,
yeah,
good
we
night.
can meet up at
Talk to you
Disneyland.
tomorrow. Good
I'll be
night.
there.
Night.
Night,
Audra, if I'm
coach.
lucky, I'll have a surprise for some people in Disneyland. I'm waiting on a shipment of something. I hope you like headbands. See y'all.
I love them. Thanks.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank
Bye.
you.